We are live again from the Kalispell Fair, the Northwest Fair and Rodeo. My name's John. I'm in the Red Quill Media booth. Our booth was wired by Steve LaPrame of Liberty Networks out of Helena. We are at the fair having conversations with anybody that wants to sign up and have their 15 minutes fame, or if you happen to be a local representative and you want to do a candidate conversation, you can stop by and we'll have that conversation too. So with me, I have Commissioner Brad Abell from Flathead County. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So give me your 2-minute stump speech and then we'll get into some questions.
Well, I'm Flathead County Commissioner. I'm in my 6th year of my first term and running for re-election. Good conservative candidate.
So, conservative candidate for commissioner. What have you seen over your term so far that you've been able to affect as far as change in Flathead County?
Well, the biggest thing, my best accomplishment, the one I'm most proud of, is we implemented a safety program for our employees. We had some problems early on, and this has lowered our insurance costs for the county. But it's also helped employees go home safe. I mean, that's our ultimate goal, is for employees to go home safe.
When are you out knocking doors right now?
A little bit.
What question are you hearing the most when you introduce yourself as a new candidate or you're rerunning?
I think one of the biggest concerns is about the growth, the 25,000 people that have come into the Flathead Valley in the last 6 years, and the development that's going on.
And what's your answer for them?
I believe in property rights. These people are coming here because they love to live here. They like our mountain views, even though it's a little smoky here right now. They like our mountain views, they like our lakes, they like our national park, and they like our quality of life here. And it's brought people that are escaping, other places in the country where they don't have those things. And it's a free country. We get to move around freely, and even though we sometimes would like to put a gate at the edge of our county, we can't do that.
Well, there's that old saying, people vote with their feet. So.
And they're coming here because it's of the quality of life we have, and maybe that's affecting the quality of life because we have 25,000. I know it makes it a lot harder to get from point A to point B in the valley, especially during the summertime, but I mean it's a hard decision. I mean, I have mixed feelings about our growth, but you got to support it. I support private property rights and those abilities. So,
what do you see as the biggest challenges in the next few years for Flathead County?
It's keeping enough funding going into the government of the county to maintain the services that people want without their property taxes going out of control. I mean, there's a fine line to walk there. That we got to be responsible with our checkbook, but we still got to give people the services they want. They want a law enforcement, a sheriff's office that responds when they have problems. We want to drive to work on paved roads, and we want the roads plowed when there's a snowstorm and graded in the spring and this kind of thing on our dirt roads and gravel roads. We got to try and make that balance happen without pricing people out through property taxes.
So, are you originally from Flathead County?
I've lived here since I was 7 years old. My dad went to school here, grade school here. He'd moved away. I was born while he was away for work
So before commissioner, what was your job?
I was a heavy equipment operator for a little over 30 years. First for a small family-owned lumber mill, and then for Plum Creek, and then they turned into Warehouser. I had a 30-year career there, and before that, I graduated from high school and wanted to be a cowboy. I went out and got a ranch job and worked ranches across the state of Montana.
So, wanting the Yellowstone experience before there was a Yellowstone experience to have, yeah.
Right, that's who I was.
So, you've been coming to the Kalispell Fair for several years.
I think the first time I was probably 7 I was probably 8 because I moved here when I was 7, but the fair was over that year, and I think we went to. So that's going on almost 60 years of going to the fair.
So when you walk in, you see all the vendors. Is there any vendor that's been here long enough to bring back some nostalgia for you?
I'm not sure about that. What brings back the nostalgia for me is the FFA and the 4-H barn and those kids that are up there showing their livestock. I went to school here and was in the FFA program, although I didn't show fat stock. But my friends did, and I saw those kids that were showing in there, and I see some of the kids from when I was there. They're my age or older, and they're the leaders. They're still involved in it, and they're community leaders out there. Mark Lawlem and those guys that are running stuff are guys I went to school with and saw there. I support them because 4-H and FFA develop that leadership in kids, and they will be our future leaders.
So, did you make the auction yesterday?
I did. We had a record auction. It was $1.2 million or something, with 50 head fewer than last year. So we did great. There's a lot of generosity in our business community that support these young kids too. And
then, do they do an indoor auction here for the other projects, or
no?
Is it just livestock?
It's just the livestock, the sheep, sheep, beef, and hogs.
So that's because the livestock auction always gets me in trouble. So yeah. I like the indoor auction. It's a little, you can get away with a little less damage to your wallet.
3 years ago, I bought a fat lamb from one of the 4-H kids, and then 2 years ago, I bought another one. And that young man, I watched him. The last one, I kind of became friends with him and his family, and I've watched him grow and mature and show his livestock or his sheep, and it's great to watch the progress of those kids.
I like it when we have I homeschool my kids, so our homeschool group that we have a lot of kids do 4-H or FFA, and so they'll tell me when their auction's coming up, and when you go out and support them, and then you end up buying a sheep or a pig from one of them, and then the next year, you get your thank you card, and they're your best friend, and then the next year they're right there. Hey, I got another one.
Right.
So it's not just doing it to promote yourself. It's doing it to support these kids, because they get so excited when they are successfully learning how to raise an animal, how to get it through and to auction, and then when they successfully sell one, that completes the whole project for them.
Right. It's a great. It builds that leadership qualities. It builds a responsibility. It helps these town kids have an opportunity to be farm kids for a little bit for the summer and learn that responsibility of taking care of another life and feeding and taking care of for that animal,
and learning the economics behind it. They have to keep you have to keep a project book, so you have to keep track of your weights, your food, how much you're spending on medicine. I mean, they get the whole gamut, so it's not something where I'm just going to go buy a chicken and raise a chicken and take it to the fair. You have to actually do a whole project book and manage that animal, so it develops that sense of leadership, but that sense of responsibility and learning how to raise an animal and what it takes to get something from pasture to plate.
Right, learning how the free market works. I mean, it's a little bit, because there's some donation in what these businesses pay for these animals, but it's still seeing how that free enterprise system works. Because these kids pay a lot of money when they buy those animals too. It's kind of a little bit out of the free market. There's they're paying a higher rate to buy their animals, and when they're getting a rate that's more than the average market takes.
Right, and then some of them have to buy 2 or 3, and then hopefully get 1 through to auction.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of these they get to buy 2 and have a backup, and it's a good experience. There's a lot of, like you said, accounting and taking care of running the books and figuring out if they're making a profit. Even with those, some of these kids just barely make a profit on these animals because of the other costs that are involved.
So, do you have an opponent in your race?
I do. I have a Democrat opponent. He's ran for the last 2 city elections in Missoula, Montana, or in Whitefish, up there, and. He's a nice guy. I think he's a little misinformed on he wants to provide affordable housing and thinks the commissioners can can change the housing prices, and I don't know how much control you have over that. I believe housing is a lot based on the free market and, supply and demand, and, I don't think I want to lower anybody's value of their home. I mean, people would like their value lowered when the tax man comes out, but when the real estate agent comes out and when they want to sell, they want that value to be high.
Right.
So there's a there's a balance there. And my view on government is government needs to stay out of the way of the private citizen as much as possible.
So a lot of people miss that. I would say it's a fact. I mean, the government needs to stay out of your business. But when you talk with citizens, when you go out and knock doors and they ask, what is a thing that somebody asks that they don't realize that it's out of the power of the county commissions or county commissioners to take care of?
Well, a lot of our laws, I mean, we aren't lawmakers.
Right.
Lawmakers go to Helena and our senators and our House of Representatives there. They make the laws. We have to follow it. We are a little bit of a legislative body for the county, but not much. We're more of an executive with some quasi-judicial things in there on when we're approving or disapproving, housing developments and subdivisions, lakefront permits, lakeshore permits for docks and those kind of things. We look at that and make sure the laws are being followed by those developers and the homeowners along the lakes that want a dock or those kind of permits. We have a planning department that looks at it and knows the laws, and then we consult with them at the time and look over those things. But we can't, just like a judge isn't supposed to be activist and make law from the bench, neither are we supposed to make laws from the bench,
So I had a train of thought and I lost it because you jumped in again. But what I'd like you to close up with, or what we can end with, is explain how important it is for the citizens of your county to get involved and vote in their local elections. How important is it to know what commissioner you're putting in the seat and what state representative you're putting in the seat? I know that the federal elections are important, but how much more important do you think the commissioners and your city council and state reps are?
Well, I think our local elections affect you a lot more. I mean, my spending will affect your tax. At least 30% of your tax bill is based on what I do with the budget. Our school districts are another important. That's where the other 60% of your tax bill is going is to education. It's really important to, school boards are a very local part of our government, and they have say in what they do. And when the school levies come up, when these come up, all those things are important to follow it and do the research. It takes some effort, and go out and talk to candidates, ask them what they're thinking, what their view is on things, and and Flathead County is a very important county nationally. Montana's a red state. Flathead County is a big conservative voting county, and it has a lot of influence on how Montana, without Flathead County being a red county, or how they vote, it would make it a lot harder for Montana to maintain their Republican majorities here. So the voters of Flathead County have a lot to do with maintaining the balance federally in the House and the Senate there. Especially with the close races coming up in the midterms where we could lose those.
Right. So voters looking for information on you, where can they go?
I don't have a website. They can call me at my county office. I mean, I got Flathead County website's got a deal. I got a phone number there, 758-5506. I can be reached there to anybody has problems with their roads not graded or wants to complain about things. I mean, I'm there to listen to.
What if they just want to call and give you an attaboy? Will that work too?
They can call that too. That same number. They can go on the website. They can send me an email. I don't give many attaboys. I think the people that like me sometimes just expect me to do a good job, but when people have a problem, they're quick to call me. And
they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
They do.
Every once in a while, politicians need to hear that they're doing well too.
Right. And I've been at the booth here on our central committee booth and meeting people, talking to people, and I walk through the crowd, and I can't walk down in front of the grandstands without running into 5 or 6 people I know. So I guess that's a good sign. People can talk. I'm pretty available out there for people to talk to.
All right. So if you want to find the commissioner here at the rodeo, are you going to be at the CC booth the rest of the day?
The rest of the day.
So you can come down. You can go to the central committee booth. It's underneath the grandstands. And then if you want to come down and get on the air, you can stop by the Red Quill Media booth, and we will put you on and have a conversation. It's pretty easy. You come by, you scan a code, you sign a release, and we put you in the hot seat.
You do a great job.
All right, you have the last word, Commissioner. What do you want the voters to know about you and close us out?
I just appreciate all that's going on, and come down to the fair, enjoy the fair. It's almost over. If you got any problems, give me a call and tell me what you think.
I appreciate your time, Commissioner. Thank you for stopping by and having a conversation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.